reached out to the city, and first off by reaching out to the city secretary's office, called them, city secretary transferred us, that person after that transferred us, then that person after that transferred us, and I got kind of frustrated with the process. I'm not sure if that's the average experience of an everyday citizen that's wanting to get some work within the city done, but that was my experience. And so then I got online and I did some searches, and I found a site that from the city of Dallas where you can make a request. So I submitted the request. I put this address, 3836 Basswood, and I noted that there's darkness in this area. So one of the primary concerns of when we were patrolling the neighborhood was we were concerned about the safety of the community. We feel like the safety of the community is very important. When you look at the demographic neighborhood of this community, a lot of them is older people. You just interviewed an older gentleman, and they were very concerned. He was very concerned. And so we took it upon ourselves after being told from the city that they would review it within 60 days and make a decision on how they would proceed forward. Community movement builders took it upon ourselves to go ahead and install our own light on our property. So we're property owners here at this location in Highland Hills. And so we feel as though this is something that's very beneficial for the community. And as we've seen, there is some support for having this type of lights, sort of protection in the community. And again, it creates a situation where people can see, and it's primarily for safety. So we think and believe as community movement builders that this is something that should go on across Highland Hills. We think that Highland Hills residents of Highland Hills should have the opportunity to feel safe, so that they can see exactly what's going on and know what they expect. And so that's the kind of safety and security that community movement builders are attempting to bring to Highland Hills.
Yeah, and so you mentioned safety concerns. Can you tell me more about that, and like what concerns exactly? Why were you doing patrols in the first place?
We were doing patrols because we believe that we have to put ourselves in a position to mentor youth. Our main conversation, our main thing that we deal with is youth, and so we think and believe that if we're able to have conversations with youth, young people that may not necessarily be having conversations with other people, then we can perhaps avoid some issues. At the same time, we want our elders in the community. As I mentioned, there's a lot of elders in the community. We want them to feel safe. And then the third and the most important thing is we have the ability to police ourselves. We have the ability to determine our own destiny as a community. We feel as though the people here in the Highland Hills were very supportive of our patrols. We feel that that we maintained a degree of professionalism, a degree of discipline, and we feel that we were very appreciated by what we were doing.
Yeah, and what prompted the patrols? Like, was there certain specific issues, specific concerns that prompted those patrols?
Well, to give a broad view, we've been active in this community over 12 years in Highland Hills as community builders, community movement builders, associated organizations and whatnot. The thing about us is we believe that this is a zone of operations for us. As I stated, we own this property here. If you go on the other side of these houses, there's a park. It was formerly known as College Park. We got together as community movement builders and renamed College Park to Fahim J. Minka Community Park. So what we have been doing is with the agreement of the community, because we don't make any decisions without the agreement of the community. Even before we put the light up, we went door to door and talked to folks and got their agreement. Talked to Mr. Stanley and other folks and got their agreement. So the same thing with the park, same thing with the patrols. We made sure that everybody was on the same page, or at least had some sort of position. And so what started that is that we believe in this particular community needs some focus and some attention. Now, there's a lot of areas in the city of Dallas that needs that same type of attention, but for us, because we're familiar with the area, familiar with the lay of land, we said that Highland Hills was going to be our focus, and that's what we're basically doing here today.
So what you're saying is community movement builders, y'all didn't want to have to depend on the city, or on the DPD or anything like that.
We have always given the city opportunity. city may be overextended. City may not have the resources. Whereas you can see here, we're in the middle of the day, 3 o'clock in the middle of the day, where most folks are working, and we got a number of people here that's really committed to be a part of the process. And that's something that we can do. Why? Because the people here know us. Man steps outside the door, and we're able to say, hey, tell you their experiences. And more than times than often, it's going to be a positive experience because we do everything we can to try to serve this community. Every waking moment we try to do when we hear one thing or another we're doing is giving out pampers or we're teaching kids, because this building here, believe it or not, is called Malcolm X Academy. And we operate here after school program on most days, okay, or a free breakfast program on the weekends, right? That's what we've been doing here. So we're just really committed to the community. We have the ability to do so. We have very committed individuals here that have the opportunity and believe just as we, just as much as everybody else does. And so that's what we're going to continue to do.
Okay. And so y'all have been at this location for a year, but you said you've been going for 12 years?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And so tell me about the process of putting up the street light. You had to raise funds, and you had to kind of, dig a hole. Just walk me through all of that.
So first and foremost, we collectively had to raise funds. Being that we had to raise funds, it took a few days to be able to do that. Once we got the funds raised, then we just had to get the manpower. Once we got the manpower together, we had to dig the hole. And once we dig the hole, then we had to get the cement and put the pole together. And once we did all that, we was able to set the pole in the cement, which was already hard, and basically screw it in and basically turn it on. And to our surprise, the light came on beautifully. And the people across the street, they were surprised about it, and they was looking at, they wasn't necessarily expecting that. But see, this is something that is really small and minor in a sense, but it really shows that if the community come together, what they could accomplish. And I say that because we was needing a socket. For some reason, we was missing a socket or something to that extent. We was missing a socket. Well, the family across the street, they said, we support community movement builders because they've come over here and we've given away what we call mutual aid previously, and they gave us their socket. And so it's little things like that help make this process a little bit easier. It was basically community support the community. So now what? That light is up. Guess what? It's right in front of his house. So it's not pitch black dark as it was before we put that light. That light helped bring about some safety. That light helped bring about security. Community movement builders is about building zones of safety and security. That's what we're about. That's why we chose our headquarters to be right here in the community, in the middle of Highland Hills, Malcolm X Academy. We chose it right here to be residential. We could have easily chose somewhere else. We could have got a storefront, but we're thinking about the community. We're thinking about the neighborhoods, and so that's why we're right here.
Okay, and raising the funds. When did you go through like a website like GoFundMe or
what were you?
Spot.
Probably. You can say GoFundMe. It was like a GoFundMe.
It was like a
crowdfund.
It was crowdfund.
It was crowdfund.
Crowdfund.
And
okay.
it was pretty quick. We did it because folks are familiar with the type of work we do.
And was it like neighbors that contributed? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was neighbors, and it was mainly community folks.
Yeah.
They just believe in the work that we're trying to do. They
Yeah.
know like we do services in this community.
Yeah.
They know that we're at Estelle Village, which is called the Pinks. And so just folks who are familiar with our work, they'll find it to be very agreeable.
Yeah. Are you planning to
more
put up?
specific, it was called Zeffy.com, Zeffy.com.
Zeffy.com.
Safety. Okay. And you mentioned the Pinks yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me more about that.
So the Pinks is, and first of all, all these gentlemen can talk about it, but the Pinks, and ladies too, the Pinks is an apartment complex that's right up the corner here that we have an excellent relationship with, that we've been serving in that community, like I said, 12 years in the Pinks. and it's sort of notorious for when you tell people about the pinks in the city, they have a certain picture. But we deal with this community all the time, and so we don't see that. What we see is kids, adults, children working together and playing and having fun. And what happens in between can happen in other other situations. Is that folks just need mentorship. Folks just need guidance. And so that's part of what we have been working to do, or attempting to do, was to help bring guidance to the community.
Okay. I think that's all I needed from you, but is there anything else you wanted to say?
Nah.
Okay. Anything for our audience, for the adults, the kids out there?
Well, I would say Community Movement Builders is a very serious organization. It's an organization that we hope, the folks in this room hope, that's going to be here in the city of Dallas for a long time. We're working right now on a lot of different issues. One of which,
what issues?
One of which is to remove the signs, the Lamar signs that currently say Lamar exits along Interstate 45 and along North and South Interstate 45. Remove those Lamar signs, because we worked together back in 2020 to make sure that sign says Botham Jean. Okay, when you exit off. We've been talking with Adam Bazador, and we think that 6 years is long enough for you to put together $300,000, which is a small amount, to update the signs which you guys voted on back in 2020. So we have been pushing for the city to get rid of those Lamar street signs. And furthermore, I don't think they'll do any other community like that. I don't know if you guys know, if it takes 6 years to update some signs, that's supposed to already be updated. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the things that Community Movement Builders is fighting for now. And we call it the same thing that we called it when we renamed College Park. We call it landscape reparations. And we say that if it's in our community, black and brown community, then what's in the community should reflect our reality. And so if we push for the city to rename Lamar Street, the south end of Lamar Street, to Botham Jean, and the street itself says Botham Jean, when we exit off Interstate 45 North or Interstate 45 South, there's about 5 to 7 signs that currently say Lamar, and we think it's a travesty. It's really a slap in the face, honestly. Yeah.
What about R.L. Thornton? You know about R.L. Thornton?
Yeah, R.L. Thornton, the freeway. Yeah, the history of R.L. Thornton. So there's a number of spaces that in this city that could potentially be renamed to honestly reflect the folks that's in that community. Like you mentioned, R.L. Thornton, Keith's Park is another. We looked at Keith's Park as a potential secondary to us renaming College Park. Now, it took us so long to rename College Park. It took us, maybe 3 years to do it. And we had to kind of go back and forth, but fortunately we had a good park board representative by the name of Bo Slaughter, who saw that what we were doing was honest and what we were doing was humble about our process. And so he believed in us enough, the timing of what we was doing, to go ahead and support our efforts to rename College Park. And again, it's named Fahim J. Minka Community Park, and Fahim J. Minka was one of our elders.
Okay. And one last question on the streetlights. What's next with the streetlight project?
Our hopes is that we have a few people that's wanting to have a similar setup in their neighborhood, in their community.
Neighbors.
Yep. And so we're gonna follow up with that. So we actually raised some funds right now to make that happen. So we got a few donations, and we should be making that happen pretty soon.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Thank you, Yafeuh. And I'll just need one more interview with who was involved with, I'm guessing y'all were all involved with putting up the light posts, but if you can tell me who did the concrete pour and everything and all that stuff. So
yeah.
You? Okay. All right. Let's talk about it.
All right.
Okay. And I'm also going to ask you about how you got involved with community movement builders, and just like, just a little bit of history, a little bit of color, so we can have that for the story and for our audience. So,
how close should I be to the mic?
Just if you could real quick, just tell me what you had for breakfast for a mic check.
Okay, for breakfast, I literally had like a pack of crackers.
A pack of crackers.
America.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That sounds good. Good answer. Not a lot of people. Sometimes people tell me they had nothing for breakfast.
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's start with your first and last name and whatever title you want to go by with the group.
Got you. My name is Winston Parker. I am actually a new member to CMB, the Community Movement Builders. I've been with them since around October, November, and I just teach I don't just teach, but I teach the free firearm class. I'm actually a firearm instructor in my personal life, in my career-wise. In CMB, how I met and got involved with CMB is actually through Yafeuh. Yafeuh and I were speaking at an event here at the Malcolm X Academy. It was an ancestral djembe, which is essentially where we just play drums and, give worship and just commune as people. We had a great session, and I met Yafeuh, and I told him, I'm interested in teaching firearm safety to the community for free, because there is such a large paywall, capitalism and all, that people don't know the necessary things when it comes to actually owning and properly using firearms. When I talked to Yafeuh and when I talked to the members of CMB, it was like Lego bricks, just one domino after another, and now we've held like 5 or 6 events. And people from TikTok, the internet, Facebook reach out, come to the classes. We haven't had any recently because of the freeze, but yeah, that's how I got started with CMB.
Yeah, and so were you also involved in the streetlights?
I was.
Yeah, so tell us about that.
So funny enough, I actually showed up late, and they were digging the hole. But this sister right here gave me my hoodie. It's actually all on my YouTube. But everything just kind of worked together. Everybody worked together at this collective goal of building a streetlight. I walked up. They were digging a hole. I know how to use a shovel. Cool. So we got to doing that. We all know concrete needs water. So we got to mixing the concrete, setting the rods that actually hold the concrete or the street light up. We set that in place, poured the concrete, and put the pole up. It's something that we did in a couple hours that the city took 80 days to not do, which is kind of a slap in the face, but a celebration of what we are able to do as people, And I don't have any special degrees or, when I came from actually another drum circle, and they had put the pole together themselves. And like Yafeuh said earlier, even the neighbors across the street got involved once they saw what we were doing, and they were excited to help. And they actually gave us a wrench that we needed to finish the project. So it's just a bunch of people getting together for a collective effort, which we need more of.
Yeah, and why do you think it's important to put up streetlights in this neighborhood?
Every other neighborhood that you look at, for the most part, will have streetlights, and you just feel safer walking down the street with streetlights. CMB is being the light that we want to see in the world, essentially, and that starts with lighting up where our headquarters is here at Malcolm X Academy. If we don't have lights to feel safe when parking, and having kids, because kids come here for the after school program, for the breakfast program, they don't feel safe, and if the parents don't feel safe, how can anybody feel safe coming here to actually commune and be in the community, Yeah. So it's very important. We also actually had a incident on the street, I believe, in which one of the houses experienced gun violence. I don't know of anybody that got hurt, but as a firearm instructor, that's huge for me. And the street light, it's just to help deter things like that too.
Yeah, it's good to know so the neighborhood is informed and so people can see in the dark. Yeah. Okay. And let's see. Anything else? What's next with the streetlight project with CMB?
I can speak about what's next with the streetlight project easily. More streetlights. I mean, streetlights wherever we can get them, wherever people want them. We need people who own their properties. One, that way we're investing in the community, and two, we're building them. We can build a streetlight in a couple hours. It's no big deal. I mean, we did it with our bare hands. The neighbors across the street were even like, "Hey, if you want help, we saw how you did it. We know how to do everything. It's mixing concrete,
Yeah.
So just more streetlights. We actually have more free firearm safety classes, which is open to the community. Like CMB is here for all races, religions, all people, ages, everything, sexualities. We are here for the community. And I can't stress that enough, how much I appreciate and love CMB for that, especially in 2026. But yeah, just more love, man. I don't know what else to really say. We have the free breakfast program that good sister right here is Talissa is cultivating. She's doing a great job with that. We have Malcolm X Academy. We have the after school program. I have the firearm training that I'm working on right now.
Yeah.
Streetlights. We actually have some community cleanup that we're planning in the future. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a lot of litter around Dallas in general.
Yeah.
I'm a tourist. I can't stand to see the earth dirty. And when I brought that to CMB's attention, they were like, "Okay, cool. Figure something out. Bring it to us. And just like with your firearm training classes, we will get the manpower to put it together to where we can actually go and clean up the neighborhood."
Yeah.
So I mean, it's unlimited what CMB can do. Like, we're only limited to our minds at this point.
Yeah.
I find that wonderful.
And CMB is also, is it part of like a national network, or is that?
CMB is part of the national network.
Okay.
CMB has chapters in, I want to say, Detroit, LA, Atlanta for sure. There's CMB all across the.
Okay.
Okay. We're CMB Dallas Fort Worth though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Yeah, I can do a little more research on that, and that sounds really interesting. But anything else?
Anything else? Free Palestine. Free the Congo. Free Haiti. And free us all from the shackles of capitalism, man. Love, peace, love, unity, respect. What else? What do you? Come on. We got a second. What do you want to say?
I said ice fall back.
Yeah. Melt this ice. I can't stand Alaska. Ice out of Texas. Man. That's how I'm feeling. Oh, and fund KERA.
Thank you.
By the way.
Thank you. Thanks for that. All right. Cool. Well.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. And yeah, I reached out to the city earlier, and they're working on a response. So whatever they tell me about,
They're working on a
They're
response.
always working on
yeah,
Trying
they'll
to figure out what to say.
probably send a statement. The city is so.
Tell them to use ChatGPT so they can hurry up.
It'll become faster, right?
Whole lot of M dashes in there.
Yeah.